Top TV, truth of the people.
Of course, many thanks and welcome to the debut show of the Sports Digest here on Top TV. We'll be looking at matters sports, and in today's show we'll be looking at the Euros. To be specific, we'll be looking at different matters, and I'll be joined by two analysts by the name of Steve Ngala and Aaron Mulati. We'll be looking at various things about the Euros, including the top scorers, the outstanding players, the surprise packages of the tournament so far so good, the highlights of the tournament, the teams that have performed above expectations, and of course the fixtures on the round of, or rather in the round of 16. So be sure to catch us. We'll be going on a short commercial break. We'll be right back with my analysts.
Cheza OD Live, wekelea GG, unders, overs and many more game ikiendelea. Play over 9,000 live games on the fastest live betting experience in Kenya. Na beti kingiana unalipwa pap, usiachwe nyuma. Cheza OD Live at odibets.com. ODBets, bet extraordinary.
Thank you very much for staying with us. Now we are joined by the two analysts. I'll start with you, Aaron Mulati. How have you been? How are you doing?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm doing okay. Yes.
I'm glad to be here.
Many thanks for joining us today.
Yeah.
We also have Steve Ngala, who's here with us. Ngala, how are things going?
Things are going very fine.
Yes.
I'm so grateful to be here today.
That is absolutely okay. Now, we'll start by looking at Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the greatest players to ever grace the sport. Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, is now the top scorer in all European major tournaments. After scoring the brace against France, is now on 21 goals and is followed by Miroslav Klose of Germany. That is another record broken for Cristiano Ronaldo, who is arguably the GOAT in the football scenes. Now, looking at the Euros, Steve, there have been teams that have been surprising, teams that have performed above expectations. To you, which is one of the teams that have been outstanding so far so good in the tournament?
Yeah, Hungary is one of the teams. Hungary is one of the teams, considering that it was in the same pool with the likes of footballing giants like the Portuguese, the French, and the Germans, and getting to draw with Germany and France. I think it's some major achievement for them.
When the game started, just to stick with you, Ngala, for a moment, what did you expect? What were the total amount of points that you expected Hungary to gather in this particular group, having it in mind that it was the group of death? This group had the defending champions who are Portugal, the world champions who are France, and of course Germany, which is a footballing powerhouse. What did you expect from that team?
I expected Hungary to lose to all the three teams, but surprisingly, it had to draw with the likes of Germany and the defending world champions France. Despite that they were beaten by the Portugal, I think it is some good achievement that they had to draw with France, which had some very good team, the likes of Karim Benzema, Paul Pogba, and Kylian Mbappe. Okay,
Aaron. I don't know whether to you, Hungary was a surprise package because it's talked about, they only lost the game against Portugal, in which they lost in the last 7 minutes. They are destined for drawing that particular game. So, yes. To you, which is the team that was the surprise package in, so far so good from the group stages?
One of the team is Hungary, whereby I expected Hungary to lose all the games, but it is out of expectation, whereby Hungary finished with 2 points. And another team is Czech Republic, where they have qualified to round 16. That's the team.
Okay. To me, I'd also love to look at a team like Sweden, because Sweden qualified as the group leaders. I think in the group against, they were with Poland and Spain. So I think with Slovakia as well. So I think Sweden, to me, was one of the surprise packages, because to lead that group with 7 points is a good achievement. Having it in mind that they did not have their starman, their talisman, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but Forsberg did the job for them. They do have players like Victor Lindelof for Manchester United. So what do you think of Sweden's performance?
They have had some very, very nice performances, considering that I think the hardest team that they were to play against was the Spain, and when they drew a point from the Spain, I think the rest of the matches they were very easy for them. Yeah, that's why they finished as the group leaders.
Okay, now moving forward, after the surprise packages and the teams that are performed above expectations. So far so good. There've been players who have surpassed expectations and they've performed very, very well. And there are others who expectations were so high for them to perform very, very well, but of course they performed dismally. To you, Aaron, who are some of the players who have surpassed expectations and they've been the star players for their teams in the group stages?
First player is Hurricane, whereby I expected Hurricane to be among the top scorer of this Euro tournament, but it is out of expectation for me.
For Hurricane to perform dismally?
He has not performed well as I expected.
Okay, and among all the players from the group stages, who is one player that you can pick one, if you were to pick one player who has performed very, very well, above expectations? Yeah.
Patrick Schick from Czech Republic.
That's nice because he scored a wonderful goal.
Yes.
He has 3 goals, and having it in mind that he plays for Czech Republic, that is something so outstanding. So as we move to Steve, Steve, to you, who has been the standout player for you? Who has performed above expectations for you in the group stages so far in the tournament?
I think Gini Wijnaldum is one of them, having been the captain for the Netherlands team when Virgil van Dijk got injured and he had to withdraw from the Netherlands team. I think Wijnaldum has done some good job, being the second highest top scorer in the Euros with 3 goals. I think it's an achievement, and being the captain, I think he's leading from the front. Yeah.
Okay, so there are players who you've not mentioned. There are players like, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo has a total of 5 goals in the tournament so far with 1 assist. He scored a brace against Hungary. He scored a single goal against Germany, and of course he scored a brace yesterday. Now, did you expect Cristiano Ronaldo to perform as good as he's performed so far so good, and what do you expect from him going forward?
Yes, of course, I expected Cristiano Ronaldo to lead as a top scorer this tournament, because Cristiano Ronaldo is a good player. Definitely, I expected to be the top scorer of this Euro tournament.
Of course, there are always arguments about who's the greatest player in the planet, and Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, is up there with Lionel Messi. Now, Steve, there are particular players like Locatelli, who plays for Italy, plays for Sassuolo in the Italian Serie A. Is one person who eyes have been on him that much. He's now been is on Juventus radar and many European clubs. How can you rate his performance so far so good for the Italian side?
I think he's been quite a very important player for the Italian team, having being a midfielder, and then you're scoring 2 goals in a match, and you're not some attacking midfielder, you an holding midfielder. I think he's been quite sensational for the Italian team, and together with the likes of Immobile, I think they'll do a good job in the round of 16 and the rest of the tournament.
Okay, now I've also been looking at players like you've mentioned Gini Wijnaldum. Of course, there's Memphis Depay. Memphis Depay is, of course, one of the star men in the Netherlands squad. Do you think he'll turn up big moving forward into the round of 16? And of course, there's also Denzel Dumfries. So, do you think Dumfries and Memphis Depay can turn up big in the game against Czech Republic in the round of 16 and going forward?
Exactly, because when you say Depay is a very good player, and for now he scored 2 goals, and I expect to do more about that team.
Okay, now we'll look at the top scorers in the tournament so far so good, and of course Cristiano Ronaldo, CR7, the GOAT, and some would say disputed. He has 5 goals in the tournament, so far so good. There's Romelu Lukaku, who's the nearest to him with 3 goals. There's Patrick Schick. Of all those players, of course, Romelu Lukaku is one player who's closer to him and is likely to score more goals. At the end of the tournament, who do you guys expect, starting with this team, Gala, who do you expect to be the top scorer in the tournament? Mark you, Cristiano Ronaldo plays against Belgium in the round of 16. So one of them will definitely be out for the quarterfinals. Will it be Cristiano Ronaldo or will it be Romelu Lukaku? But who do you see will be the top scorer in the tournament?
I think for me, I see Romelu Lukaku being the top scorer. So that will hugely depend on the round of 16 match against Portugal. If they manage to win the game, then I think Lukaku has got everything that he deserves to be the top scorer. If Portugal win that game, I think Cristiano Ronaldo will go all the way to be the top scorer and even set a new record. Considering he has the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, and the likes of Diogo Jota as talisman up there, I think, yeah, he'll do a good job.
Just you've mentioned a player like Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes, has not turned up big as people expected. He's been, of course, a very, very instrumental player for Manchester United, but he doesn't have a goal to his name, and people have been, quick to talk about his dismal performance in the Euros 2020. Mm-hmm. So, what do you expect from him going forward?
Maybe this Bruno Fernandes can do better if they will proceed to the next level.
Yes.
Yes.
So you think he can, enhance his performance?
Yes.
Because he's mentioned players like, Bernardo Silva, Diego Jota, Bruno Fernandes, João Moutinho, who can help Cristiano Ronaldo to, turn up big and be the top scorer in the tournament. Do you think Cristiano Ronaldo will end up being the top scorer, or will it be Romelu Lukaku? Or would you, deem to be the person who can turn up big and be the top scorer in the tournament?
For me, the one who will proceed to the next level is the one who will be the top scorer. Because for now, Cristiano Ronaldo so far he have played 3 games and he managed to score 5 goals. Mm-hmm. So the one who proceed, he will be the top scorer.
Surprisingly enough, you guys have talked about Cristiano Ronaldo and Romelu Lukaku. Now, there are other players who have 3 goals so far so good. There's Gini Wijnaldum, Steve, and of course there's Patrick Schick. Gini Wijnaldum for Netherlands plays in the round of 16 against Patrick Schick, who plays for Czech Republic. Do you think Gini stands a chance of scoring more goals, or Patrick Schick stands a better chance?
Patrick Schick will stand a better chance to score more goals in that game, considering that the likes Gini Wijnaldum is a central midfielder, and he has the likes of Memphis Depay, Frankie De Jong, who can do that job quite better than he does. So we know he's very good at the set pieces like the corners and the free kicks, and I think Patrick Schick will stand a very, very, very good chance to even score more goals than Gini Wijnaldum. And surprisingly, they may all not score in that game.
We'll wait and see. Of course, time will vindicate you on that. We are taking a short commercial break. Remember, this show is brought to you in conjunction with Odibet here on Top TV. Sorry, we'll be right back after the break.
Top TV, truth of the people.
Welcome to the home of the fastest live,
Odibet,
boosted odds,
Odibet,
the best bonuses,
Odibet,
instant payouts,
Odibet,
and even cashback. Odibet, bet extraordinary.
Many thanks for staying with us. We now turn our eyes into the surprise, or rather the most entertaining games so far so good from the group stages. To me, there have been a couple of some round of games that have been so entertaining. I'd look at Germany against Portugal, which was a very, very entertaining game. There's Portugal against France, of course. There's Sweden against Poland, in which Sweden won 3-2 in the last game of the groups, and of course as well there's Denmark versus Russia. To start with you, Aaron, which game has been the most entertaining to you, and which game can you pick, to be specific?
For now, Portugal versus France.
Why would you pick that game?
Because it was very interesting. Because when you see, they ended by a draw.
Yes, a 2-2 draw. Yes,
2-2 draw. And I can say it was a very interesting game. Yes.
So to you, it was interesting because, of course, all eyes were on Cristiano Ronaldo. And of course, there's Karim Benzema was just called back into the squad. He scored a brace and Ronaldo scored a brace. What made it so interesting? What made that game so interesting to you? Is it the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo scored the brace, or both sides were so good? What was the standout thing for you in that game?
I can say both sides are good because when you look the France squad, well as the Portugal squad.
So both of the sides are full of potential. They have players who have shown themselves in the bigger stage. So that was the fact that made it so entertaining for you.
Exactly.
Steve, just to come to you, of the games that have been played so far so good in the group stages, which game has been so entertaining to you that you'd term the best game of the tournament so far so good?
The game Denmark played against Russia. I think it was quite entertaining, considering that in the start of the game, Russia had 3 points, and Denmark had 0 points. That when one team scores, the group table changes automatically. The fact that Denmark had lost the talisman Christian Eriksen the first day, I think they really turned up well in that last game of the group. Despite losing the first 2 games, I think they did a very good job. The likes of Højbjerg as the midfielder, the likes of Christensen as the defender, and Kasper Schmeichel as the goalkeeper. I think that was a very nice game. Yeah, very entertaining.
Just to stick with you, Steve, you've mentioned the game pitting Denmark against Russia. In that particular group, the second place team was having, or the second place team had 3 points that qualified. Denmark, to be specific, lost their key player, one of the most key players, if not the most important, Christian Eriksen. In the first game, he collapsed after in the middle of the game, but he got well. Do you think they will move forward from the round of 16 because they do play Wales? And what is the importance of them qualifying into the round of 16, because having lost their star player, they lost the first game against Finland 1-0. They lost the game, against Belgium. Belgium came from behind after they had scored a goal in the early minutes of the game from Poulsen. How much important is the game against Wales for them because they don't have Christian Eriksen? And do you think they can, proceed from the round of 16?
I think it's a game that they'll be playing just for Christian Eriksen. That they make sure that. I think it's like supporting him and wishing him a very quick recovery after that injury that he had. And I think that it's going to be an interesting game. The likes of Gareth Bale, Daniel James, they're going to be there. The likes of Christian Eriksen, they'll be in that game. And I think it will be a quite interesting game. And I wish the best team is going to win that game.
Now, Aaron, coming to you. Steve has talked about Denmark and how they progressed into the round of 16. I mean, they do have quality players. There's Kasper Schmeichel plays for Leicester City. There's Pierre-Emile Højbjerg who plays for Tottenham. Of course, Andreas Christensen, Yusuf Poulsen. These are very high quality players. Do you think they, stand a chance of getting past Wales? Because Wales also is a very good team. They do have quality players. They do have Aaron Ramsey, Gareth Bale, Daniel James. What is the chance that Denmark will go past Wales?
For me, I can say Denmark are going to win against Wales, because when you see Denmark finishes at position 2, Group B, with 3 points. So I can say Denmark are going to shine against Wales. Yes.
Okay, surprisingly, you guys have not mentioned the game that pitted Germany against Portugal. Of course, Cristiano Ronaldo scored in that game, but he ended up, seeing some stars. Germany were too good for them. How good is this German team? Mind you, they drew 2-2 with Hungary in the last game. They scored a goal, in the dying minutes of the game. How good is the German side? Because in the game against France, their performance was kind of dismal. But in the game against Portugal, they did turn up. How good is this German side?
I think the Joachim Löw, the coach, was trying to, pick the squad, and I think he was doing some guesswork and trying to fit each and every player in that team, considering the likes of Thomas Müller, Yeah, we have Kai Havertz, which have been very instrumental in that group. I think that was some quite good team, and in the next game they play against England. It's going to be a very entertaining match, and I think Germany is some team to watch because they have the quality in the squad, they have the depth, and I wish them well. They are a team to watch. Yeah.
Okay, Aaron, just as I'm coming to you, Steve has spoken about the quality in that team. They do have quality players. They do have players like Joshua Kimmich, who has been called the next Philip Lahm. They do have players like, of course, Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz to me is one of the most instrumental players in that team. He's turned up big. He turned up big in the game against Portugal. He turned up big yesterday. He scored a goal in the game against Hungary, very instrumental, a very, very important goal. There are very many other players. There are players with experience. There's Mats Hummels, there's Manuel Neuer, and of course, players like Thomas Müller. To you, how good is this team? And do you think they stand a chance of winning the tournament?
No. Because in the round of 16, Germany are going to meet against England. And I can tell you for free, England are going to win that game. Take it to the bank. England are going to win that game. England versus Germany. England are going to win. Because if you see England right now, England has a good squad. Because Hurricane, I can say Hurricane has not.
Just probably to cut you short on that, because we'll get to that. It is surprising that you're saying England will win this tournament, having it in mind that they've only scored 2 goals with the talents that they do have in that particular squad. Now, but looking at this German side, just like I'd mentioned, do you think they can mount a challenge to win the Euros, just leaving England out of it?
Germany.
Yes.
They will not win.
You think they don't have enough quality to win this particular tournament?
Exactly.
That is quite surprising. Just to stick with you, maybe the game against Poland played against Sweden. It was played yesterday. It ended by Sweden winning 3-2. What is your take on that game? Because to me, I felt like Poland did try. Lewandowski scored a brace, but I feel like he did not have enough support from his teammates. What are your take homes from that particular game?
For me, I was expecting Poland to win, but Sweden couldn't win. So Sweden is a good team, yes, but
they lost.
Yes.
Okay, so moving forward, Steve. Many goals have been scored. There are goals by Patrick Schick. There's the goal from Luka Modric. Goals from Hakan Çalhanoğlu, Xherdan Shaqiri. To you, which has been the goal of the tournament so far so good?
So far, I think Luka Modric's goal against Scotland. I think that was some quite goal from a Ballon d'Or winner. Very instrumental in that team, and also the captain. I think for me, up to now, that is the goal of the tournament.
Aaron Mulati.
Yes.
To you, which has been the goal of the tournament so far so good?
I think the goal of Of Patrick
Schick. The one that he scored from the middle of the pitch.
Yes.
It
was a nice goal.
Let me ask you one thing. There's the goal by Andreas Christensen for Denmark against Russia. It was a bolter, a thunderbolt, a screamer. Do you think that is not one of the contenders for the goal of the tournament so far so good?
But if I compare with Patrick Schick,
yes,
I take the goal, the Patrick Schick goal.
You're so clear in your mind that is the goal of the tournament so far so good.
Exactly.
Well, time will tell if more goals will be scored, more screamers, or even more spectacular goals. We never know what happens in the sports, in the world of football. Now, moving forward, we are headed to the round of 16. There's so many tantalizing games, very, very entertaining games lying ahead for us. Steve, if I just have a look at the games that will be played in the round of 16, there is Germany who play against England, Portugal play against Belgium, Croatia play against Spain, Czech Republic do play against Netherlands, Austria do play against Italy, Denmark play against Wales, of course France against Switzerland, and Ukraine against Sweden. To start with you, Steve Ngala, let's talk about the game pitting Germany against England. What do you expect in that game?
I expect Germany to win with a lot of goals. Though England has a very nice squad, but I don't know what's bothering that squad, because I think the coach is not fielding some quality players like the likes of Jadon Sancho, who plays for Borussia Dortmund. He's not starting the likes of Marcus Rashford, the likes of Jack Grealish, who are very, very good players. Between them, they have about 100 goal contributions in the last season. I don't know what's the problem. Though the coach says that some players like the likes of Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford have got no experience. But I think those are the players that are going to really help him a lot in this tournament. And if England is to go all the way to the finals, then in that match they really have to turn up and field some very, very, very nice squad. Yeah, the likes of I've got no trust in Harry Kane, but I do hope that Calvert-Lewin can really turn up in that game, and the likes of Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, and Jack Grealish. We've seen how Raheem Sterling has been so instrumental in that team, scoring the only 2 goals for England. But I think Germany will take that game and they will really beat England with a lot of goals.
Now, it is surprising you've mentioned issues about Gareth Southgate saying players like Jadon Sancho do not have enough experience. To me, it has been so surprising because Jadon Sancho has not had much playing time, of course, but the first 2 games, the group stages, Jack Grealish did not have much playing time as well. Bukayo Saka in the game against the last game of the last game of the group, Bukayo Saka started alongside Jack Grealish, and they were so instrumental. Jack Grealish is one player who can be so instrumental in that team. You've mentioned Jadon Sancho, of course, and of course Marcus Rashford. Aaron,
Yes.
do you think Jadon Sancho, like Steve said, and Marcus Rashford do play or will play an instrumental role, a very, very instrumental role if England are supposed to proceed forward? Because you've also stated before that you expect England to win the tournament. Do you think Grealish, Jadon Sancho, and Marcus Rashford do have a part to play?
Exactly, because if you see Jack Grealish, Jadon Sancho, and Marcus Rashford, they are good players. Of course, they can do better to that team.
So you think they should be included in that team?
Yes.
Let's talk about Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's got a lot of goals, but Southgate has decided to stick with Harry Kane. Surprisingly, Harry Kane, the 150 million euros striker worth as per now, the English Premier League top scorer, and the player with the most assists, only has 1 shot on target. Was that surprising to you?
Yes, it's very surprising,
Surprising, of course.
Surprising.
Yes.
Because Harry Kane was a top scorer, APL.
Yes.
We expect to do more to this tournament, but he's not doing anything.
Of course, he has not lived up to the standards. Coming to you, Steve. Harry Kane. Did you expect more from this guy? And moving forward, should Southgate stick with him, or should he give Dominic Calvert-Lewin some playing time?
I really expected much from Harry Kane, considering that he was in a very good form in the EPL, scoring over more than 20 goals and assisting more than, I think, 15 goals. I think he had a very, very good season, and one season the coach that really expected that in the tournament Harry Kane will be a very, very instrumental player. Up to now, he has not lived up to our expectations, and I think that is something that should be worrying to Southgate. I think if he really gives Dominic Calvert-Lewin a chance, and the likes of the talented wingers like Bukayo Saka, Sancho, and the likes of Rashford, I think he can have a very, very exciting squad that can even win him this tournament. Yeah.
Okay, just to sum up the England versus Germany game, Mulachi said England will win that game and of course end up being the tournament winners. To you, Germany or England?
Germany.
Germany. Okay, moving forward to your team, Belgium. Belgium, of course, Belgium is a very, very exciting team. They do have quality players. They do play against,
Portugal.
arguably, the GOAT, Cristiano Ronaldo. Do you think you guys stand a chance?
A very big chance. With the likes of Eden Hazard, Romelu Lukaku, the greatest midfielder of all time, Kevin De Bruyne, I think it's it's not a very easy game, but it will be a very, very interesting game to see the likes of Bruno Fernandes coming against Kevin De Bruyne, arguably the best playmakers in Europe right now, the likes of Joao Felix and Torgan Hazard, Eden Hazard, against the likes of Guerrero and Cristiano Ronaldo. It's going to be a very, very tough game, but I really see us winning that game. Team Belgium will go all the way.
Let me just ask you one simple question, because there have been questions about the defensive side of the Belgian outfit, the Belgium outfit, because if you look at your defense, the likes of Derek Boyata, Denaya, if they're coming against players like Bruno Fernandes, very, very high quality players who they have quality or great vision. Do you think it will be a great concern to Roberto Martinez?
Very great concern, because when you look at the Portugal squad, the defense has the likes of Ruben Diaz, Jose Fonte, and Pepe. Very nice players. Pepe is a player with a lot of experience. Ruben Diaz, the best defender in England, arguably, and I think it's going to be a very, very great concern to Roberto Martinez. If we are to win that game, then our defense will be very, very, very instrumental to winning that game.
Okay, coming over to you, Aaron. Now, Belgium versus Portugal. If you look at the Portuguese side, they do have players who have surpassed the expectation to me. There are players like Renato Sanchez. Renato Sanchez is a player who's been doubtful at times, but he's come up big. Do you think Belgium will overcome Portugal, or Portugal will win that game?
It's a very tough game, but Belgium, I go with Belgium. You will win.
Just to remain with you, who do you think will win the game against Croatia and Spain? If you had to pick a side, Croatia or Spain? Spain.
Definitely.
Okay, Netherlands versus Czech Republic. Who do you expect to win that game?
Netherlands.
Netherlands. Moving forward, to Steve Ngala. Steve, now Italy has won 3 of the 3 games from the group stages. They do play Austria. Who will win that game? Austria versus Italy.
Austria.
Austria will win that game.
Yeah.
That is surprising. Why
Very
Austria?
surprising. I think Austria, up to now, I can say that they are the underdogs in this tournament so far, in the teams that they are in the round of 16. They have a very nice squad, the likes of David Alaba, very nice squad. Sabitzer, very good player. I think they are going to win that game.
Okay, there's a game, Ukraine versus Sweden. Who is going to win that particular game?
Sweden.
There's France versus Switzerland.
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 Yeah.
That is surprising again. Why Switzerland?
Very surprising. You see, the likes of the French team has very good players. The likes of Karim Benzema, Paul Pogba, very nice player with a very good vision on the ball. But I think Switzerland, the likes of Granit Xhaka and Xherdan Shaqiri, they'll come up with a very big surprise.
We are running out of time, but I'd like to get your opinion, Aaron Mulati. He's had 2 opinions that I feel like they're so surprising. Italy versus Austria. What do you pick?
Italy.
Italy.
Definitely.
France versus Switzerland. Is picked Switzerland to win that game. France will win that game.
France.
Why? If you were to give a reason.
France had good players, likes of Pogba, midfielder Kante, Karim Benzema. They will win.
Time will tell. Wales versus Denmark. Who do you go for?
Denmark.
Just as we wrap up, Mr. Steve, who do you think will win the game pitting Wales versus Denmark?
Wales.
Wales.
Yeah.
Okay, just your parting shot as we conclude the show.
I think up to now the tournament has been very, very interesting, very, very entertaining matches, and I'm Team Belgium. All the best to Team Belgium. We're going to win this. Faith.
Quite surprising sentiments from Steve Ngala. Aaron, Your parting shot, your closing sentiments.
England, for the first time, are going to take this Euro tournament.
That is so clear in your mind, England.
Yes.
Do you know that they've only scored 2 goals in the tournament? So far, so good.
It doesn't matter.
Being in a relatively
doesn't
very easy
matter.
stage, group stage.
England are going to take it.
You've heard it from Aaron. England are going to win the Euros 2020. From Steve, it is Team Belgium. Time will tell who is right. Thank you very much for joining us today. Of course, many thanks. And of course, keep in touch with us because we'll be coming to you every week. That has been me, Ian Kitani, your host. Until next time, stay blessed.